Hello everyone, aka Meta High School Esports fans, and welcome, of course, to some beautiful Valorant competition action. My name is, of course, Potato Fries. We've joined you with none other than Reinhardt to help you cast this first match here of Alexandria Park Community School up against Narara Valley High School, and we're just about to commence the vetoes as well.
Yes, and as we can see on screen, today's map is going to be Ascent for all three games. A very defense-heavy map like we saw a couple weeks back. So we're going to be recycling through everything again, everybody. And like we can see from this choice of agents coming to this, it's looking a little bit favorable towards the defender side at currently, just because they've got like the likes of Omen and Killjoy, which do really well with setting up their defenses. And leading into this game, it's going to be very interesting between both of these schools.
It is indeed. So, look at these ones here. I'm not sure most of these names wise, but the high school is definitely a big fragging to try and get your name out there early on in the scene to keep grinding out throughout. I did recognize a couple names though. Ilu, Kano, and as well as onto the offense side there, which was, I believe, Alpha. So, I do know a few of those names definitely be watching out for. It looks like they're pretty much done here, and it's another big impact as well. Kano with the Sage heals and those reses. Sage is very, very useful on Ascent-wise, so it's going to be interesting. I think both teams trying to play for that first half advantage and then seeing how well they go into the late game. A quick little squeeze of the ranks there. I think it was on average a gold to plat, so should be interesting.
It's going to be anybody's game regardless. I mean, the first person to land those headshots will be the ones to win those skirmishes, you know, the duels here and there. But I'm very interested to see how things are going to go down mid lane, because like, you know, pre-game we were talking about how the mid lane does have a very strong appearance and strategy-wise, because you could just pick down line with an operator or anything that pretty much, like, you know, gets that long-range damage advantage and really try and sort of set yourselves ahead for the round, because the minute you take down somebody before the match even starts, it gives your team a better chance of being able to land a point. Now coming into the first game between I believe it was Alexandria
and Narara. So Alexandria is going to be on that defense side, and of course, going to have Narara on the offense. Alexandria rocking Ilu, Dark, Kano, 8-Bet, and Jasoon up against Alpha, Spark, Floof, Pig, and Net. Commence this very first match here. Best of one, of course, so winner takes all here on Ascent. So far, looks pretty right for set-wise. Talk us a little bit more about
it's called, well, you could definitely see, but Narara is already going to be focusing towards A side. Staying passive immediately try and catch Alexandria off guard, but they're going to make themselves known real soon as they're making their way through the smoke pit at the moment. They did just get caught out, so there's going to be a bit more attention. As you can see, Raze in the back line going to run straight from B to A and catch up to try and increase their defensive positioning.
Indeed. So holding on strong here. Still a minute on the clock. The Viper will set up trying to get out towards A, but both teams are already mustered in. This is definitely favoring defense here. Unless offense gets some early quick picks to try and muscle out. Defense already got down pat from where they are playing exactly. So they're just trying to cut off as many angles as they can. They're not really thinking about the rotate, and looks like they're just going to try and smoke out towards tree, out heaven line here. So they can't just burst out onto the A site next. The first to go through, but Ilu takes them down. Quick trade from Alphas. Ilu finds yet another one. Down to the 3v4, holding on strong, but Ilu is a monster. Absolutely mopping up here. A 4K to start off straight off the bat, and holding on strong here for Alexandria as they go 1-0 onto this first map.
It just able to land those headshots like that. Just absolutely aesthetically pleasing gameplay right there. And Illo taking on 4 kills. He's almost essentially already hit his ultimate. We're going to see those blades coming out relatively soon. Probably in the next round or two, actually. But now he's also picking up the Marshal, which is going to work really well for this for picking down mid lane. And we can see straight off the bat, a nice rinse and repeat from Narara. Going to be starting over A side. One's going to try and pick down mid, but he might get caught out by that Marshal.
He might indeed. Looks like they got themselves actually a half buy, so a few of them might take one hit, but as you know, Marshals on round 2 extremely brutal for the insta kills. No armor available means they just get pickups just like that. But looks like they've gone back to some defaults here. Narara trying to push on through back of A main. See if they can't get a bit of info. Floof fanning up mid, but Ilu and Kano find two. Ilu with another headshot onto one more. A quick no-scope. He is relentless, mopping up onto the Narara side, and it's a successful hold yet again for Alexandria. 2-0 now up against Narara.
That was just relentless gameplay from Ilu in round 2. Claiming another nice point. He's still going to sit on that Marshall for another round. Will opt towards the Operator, leading into the 4th round, of course. But the fact that we did see the Narara sacrifice that round by staying on those pistols, enabled a few of them to actually start building a little bit more solid. I'm seeing at least one Phantom at this point. A couple still sacrificing and staying on minimal guns like the Bulldog, as well as the Spectra. I did see Floof last second change over to the Vandal. Did try to pick down mid for a second there, which is relatively standard, you know. There is no bullet drag, no damage reduction as it travels further. And now they're going to be pressing A again.
Yeah, time and time again, they still think A is the play, but maybe this time it might be a bit different. But IBet says no. Quick burst fire onto Spark and spots a Spike safe in his guard over towards Generator's side. And now they're still trying to muscle on through here, trying to get out as best as they can. Quick dip ups from Ilu, but IBet with a 4K back-to-back early on here, holding on strong for Alexandria.
Alexandria is just really showing strong signs of defense. I'm hearing their song playing incredibly well. The last couple of rounds we have seen Narara try and focus A side. They have not met with great success. There has been a bit of a leak actually down mid, like we've seen with Illo just charging straight through it and able to catch them on the flank. Now we're going to see them changing their strategy off, and they're going to start on B side. But what's going to remain prevalent is that no one is still focusing mid.
Yeah, no, definitely not. They're still just trying to pinch it towards the long angles here. And look at this. Mop-ups, easy as. Kano gone for the ace. He scopes up a 4K. One more to follow it up. Going along strong. And it's all too easy for Kano. A complete ace as they go 4-0 for Alexandria.
That was just relentless. I couldn't believe that. He managed to get all kills straight off the bat. Not even 30 seconds into that round. And he just aces off the rest of Narara. And that's going to set them back quite a bit. Like, this is what really sort of makes things a little bit more of a pressure hurdle for attackers. In this point, Narara, they've had to sacrifice a couple of rounds to try and hit good econ rating and go full loadout. They managed to get through to it, but they just got completely aced, and now they have to reset everything once again. Alpha sitting with that Spike in hand, full loadout, but the rest of his team is going to have to try and compensate.
Indeed so, and they're still not even worried about mid at all. As soon as they get full buy, they go back towards these lanes, back up A, back up B, and it just seems to be mop-ups here. They don't really have a good setup going through to try and cut them off these angles, and Ilu is just utterly obliterating them here on these insta pushes, but looks like they've kind of realized it. They know they're stacking A again, but the question is whether or not they wait for these peaks or if they're going to go for it again. Quick tag from Ilu, wallbang on the Alpha, but now they're going to swing along as IBet Dark still holds on strong. Spark finds one back. Down to the 4v3 now, as they're just trying to re-aggress a bit of info here. They spot the Spike out, but of course, what is Narara's plan? What are they going to do differently this time? It looks like the mid flank could be the play, but Kano shuts it down. They are pincered in back of A now, and they have to fight for their life just to make this one work. Wallbang on top, the boost from Kano. It is brutal as it's Floof left alone. Back up A main in the corner. I think they know it as well. And the paranoia from Jasoon about to swing along. 5-0 as Alexandria are stomping ahead of Narara.
Oh, things are a little bit grim, but they aren't falling into the abyss yet. Narara still have an opportunity. I mean, they are on attack, and this is a defense-heavy map. They have left their mid lane exposed one too many times. They do need to try and counter for it. Like, at least have one person sitting on the drag so they can try and catch up these flanks. Because, like, you know, that person can make the difference between actually managing to cap the point and granting the stronger defense on point and essentially forfeiting the point over once again. And it's just really prevalent how crucial this mid lane is.
Oh, they tried. They did swap it up, but Ilu with the op. It's going to delete Floof. Now, stuck down to the 4v5. The Dark straight for the B-swing. Misses the mark as Alpha will punish. It's down to 4v4 now. They have a good chance to get out on the B side here. But they need to use a few ults at least to try and get some work. They went for the force buy. We'll see what they can do into this round. Alpha spots a boost up from Kano. Not this time. he says, as Ilu's getting a quick sheriff onto Spark. One more from Ilu, a 3K. Looking hungry here, trying to find even more. Gonna push through his own smoke as Jasoon finds the kick. Might get caught out from Alpha. I bet gets caught out indeed as Ilu will find the 4K and get the trade. 6-0 now for Alexandria, and Narara are just left crumbled after that round.
They did have a stronger standpoint as they got through to B side. They're sitting just inside the market area. What wasn't exactly very prevalent is that they exposed themselves a little bit. Like we saw the likes of Raze sitting underneath the shelter behind the canoe, does get caught out, completely left exposed for Omen to be able to take him out, and just the rest fell like dominoes. I gotta say though, like when we did see Ilu just completely, just like, you know, casually just move around, catch someone off guard, dash to the side. It almost feels like we just don't know how to play this game properly, with just how smooth he was able to transition over, swing around, and get that headshot on that final kill.
Yeah, it seems like Narara don't really have much of a grasp of what's happening toward the other side here. Although, next, take them on back, not before Kano still shuts down the B main push. Now they have the spike in their possession, and Ilu, of course, is ready, locked and loaded with the op in hand to stop anyone lurking to that smoke. Generally, overall, the first 4 rounds don't have big impact, but it's getting to that point where it's just, they're just not having anything really work out for Narara, and it's only round after round you sort of realize it starts to tick down. The 6-0 is quite scary, so see what happens here. Holding for the B main swing. 2 quick picks from Next to try and recover this round. Going on for the 3K. Could go for the 6, but has to find some clean shots here. Almost finds a pre-fire, but I bet will delete him first. Use the turret as bait. Still knows that Kig is back on B main. Finally shoots down that turret, but of course a 1v3, and with that Sage heal going just underway could be problematic as well. Kano looks for the swing and finds it. Deletes Kig, gets a 3K. 7-0 now for Alexandria.
This game can almost be a clean sweep at this point. Just being caught out like that, just trying to when you shoot out your scout arrow being so exposed, you leave yourself the opportunity of getting taken out. Like we saw from Canal, he just completely walked around the corner when he saw that arrow fly, because he knew he had that half a second needed for the opposition to pull out their gun, load it, and just take them out. And he also left himself exposed because he didn't hide behind the box after he shot the arrow. He just stayed out there, he got caught out, and that's
oh, here we go. Ilu extra aggressive this time. Going through an A main push, finds 1, but Next will mop up with 2. Spots at the other swing along. But of course, that lockdown, that is going to be problematic. They're still holding back of A main. They have to get out of there. They cannot be caught in that lockdown. And there you are. Got a fan towards this mid control here. Kano spots out Next, trying to rotate, and knows they're going straight towards the B side. But when do they call for this rotate here? Looks like Kano's just going to take the challenge on their own. Waiting for that swing. But which angle? Which angle is the one favorable? And looks like he's not going to read the time on this one. Might just barely, but looks like Floof's going to get that wall under wrap to get themselves a free B-side plant. They found the good timing here after a change. This could be their turning point, but they really had to get out and get this plant under wrap. That slow is going to be so problematic for them, but they had to get going through it. They cannot be scared of it. They had themselves the B-side. And there it is, but oh no, Spark with the spike and leaves it towards Tools. That's a mistake and a half. 2 quick picks, and now it's Floof alone on site in the 1v3. The pit has been activated, and the question is whether or not they take the challenge to try and fight for this fight. There you go, spots out the first. Oh, almost spots out the first, and no, he will not. Jasoon will shut it down. 8-0. Alexandria are still stomping ahead.
An amazing display of Flicker coming out from Omen, just sitting on top, manages to take a couple of bullets from that first judge shot, but then just completely turns it around, jumps into the pit, and gets a nice kill. From this point on, you've got 4 ultis sitting on attacker's side. Narara can have the opportunity to try and bring this back from the Grim. They might be able to claim a point if they pop their ultis in good succession, but my guess is they'll try and plant the spike, and you'll see Sova have his ulti ready in the back line to try and snipe out whoever decides to, you know, catch him off.
They've got 4 ults ready in the making. That breach ult is brutal on the A side, and there's nothing you do to try and stop it there. Looks like Ohm's going to be teleporting back of A, gets the intel, and is going to call for the cavalry to rotate immediately. They're still stuck back A main. I think they know this time that they are trying to rotate, but they have to try and get this quick angle. And Ilu gets brought out towards top mid, going to dip back to safety, and knows they're trying to rotate away. Now, of course, they're running around like endless shooks here for Alexandria, trying to spot where they are. But of course, they just need to hold on strong. Fantastic lineup from Ilu, but doesn't quite find the kill.
No,
It's
just
still
narrowly missing out on those headshots. He's just expended most of his blades. Has at least 2 charges left, but at a point like this, he will need to time them
He's all out.
a
He's
little bit
using them
better.
all up. No more ult left for that one. And looks like they're trying to go towards A here. They just need to use a few ults to get on the site. And just still scoring the back of A main. There you are. The breach ult trying to rain thunder on towards the site. Spots at the turret. Misses. I bet just barely. But next we get the trade. Down to the 3v4. And they spot the spike out on the A site in the open. And man, it's going to be really hard to try and bring that one back. There is 26 seconds left on the clock, and they're trying to get a good read here. They spot the flank from Dark, but the Odin reigns supreme. It's going to keep swinging on through, trying to get the trade under next, but it is not to be had. Ilu spots that one. Ilu spots at a second and sweeps up the remainder of Narara. They go 9-0 for Alexandria.
Aiming down sights as you just jump straight into the fray, completely locked out, wasn't able to flicker onto server on time, gets taken down. But it's nothing short of the fact that the rest of the team managed to come through in great succession. This is what I'm loving from Alexandria. They're trying to fish for the information needed to be able to understand what they're doing, what their strategy is, so they can create the counter play. Now, I gotta say, I am absolutely pleased with what I'm seeing. But Narara, on the other hand, they do need to try and create a successful strategy, because they are just being met with defeat left, right, and center at this point.
Ooh, a quick knife from next over towards top mid courtyard. Spots out Kano. Could be a ray of sunshine here for Narara to try and bring some back. If they don't win at least 3 rounds on this first half, getting these last 3, then they're going to be quite a lot of trouble for the second half. If they keep it going this one, it could be done and dusted for this best of 1. But Fluke still holding on strong, catches out I bet. Dark misses the swing, but trying to get the follow-up, gets one onto Alpha. Can't quite find the follow-up there, but down to 37, has to run away, and the owl spots it out as well. Now they can push through this owl as well and get the re-aggression. They know that they're stuck towards site. Floof has to get one flank, and they're out on the B side, and that's a free plant, and down to the 1v3 just like that. But still holding on strong here. Where, of course, is Dark looking out in the open. Spots out next, and the spike at hand. As Floof finds one, trying to get the quick swing and trade onto Ilu as well, but unfortunately misses the jiggle swing. And now they're trying to get the ult activated. They're trying to go all in for this round. It's down. And of course, Spark spots out Dark. But Ilu with the trade onto Kick. And now Spark trying to fight back that control. It's a 1v1. Spark has all the marbles here to fight just to try and get this round on the board for them. But Ilu says no. 10-0 as Alexandria looking to make a flawless first half seem all the more probable.
And just the amazing snipe out with the operator is really making Ilu a very strong player and essentially the hot card needed to actually almost win every single round. If he gets taken out, they have a stronger opportunity to be able to try and cap a point and just really bring things back to the team, because Narara will need to focus him down. On the other side of the spectrum, as long as they keep up good defenses, they're fine. And if Ilu manages to catch him off guard and has the opportunity to try and peek around corners with this operator, they're going to find success. And now peeking through middle, he's going to try and keep them from flanking and try and look for that weak point to catch him off guard.
So quick push from Dark, catches out Luke, no worries there. One more from Jasun. They got double ops running here for Alexandria, and it just seems like they're just not being contested at any of these angles here. They're just winning every single fight, and currently Narara down 2-man advantage. 3v5. Trying to put pieces here. No ults available, and that is definitely problematic. One showstopper will delete 2 of them. If not 3, it'll be very scary indeed. Dark gonna go for the swing on their own. I'm bring out the nade, but Alpha says no. I bet gets a quick trade. It's down to the 2v4. Make it the 1v4 as Kano spots at the flank line. Trying to transfer onto the last and does so. 11-0 now for Alexandria.
It's looking more and more prevalent to be the clean sweep, being 13-0, but it is still too soon to speak for sure. But at a standpoint like this, the fact that they are leaving mid lane open is what's really puncturing their defenses, their ability to try and get onto a point and catch what's needed. Because like we saw just then, they managed to flank around the corner, they caught Sova off guard, they boxed him in, and they just pretty much executed one person after another. And from here onwards, they don't have their ultis available. They are actually almost risking it for their all, going straight for full let out, and will have to force Econ next round. They will need to be a little bit careful coming into this. And we can see straight off the bat, Ilu already being proactive with that operator once again.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane. As I said there, I knew, Ilu and Kano going through into this one there. And oh my, Dark making a name for themselves as well. Find a quick two-piece, but Next shuts it down. And they're just running through the entire map here. They're just not being stopped at any angle. Floop on the lurk. Might be able to get one here. There's one quick pick. Oh no! Misses the headshot as Jasun will swing along. 12-0, a flawless first half for Alexandria. And what could be a flawless first match up against Narara if they don't win this pistol.
And what's making things even better for the rest of Alexandria is that they actually had all loadouts needed. They went straight in for the Odins. They had all the puncturing needed. They always went through mid lane when they went to go and catch off Narara on the side. Now switching sides, we could see a different sided story coming out from Narara, since now they have the map advantage sitting on defense. But that's nothing short of, this is match point, everybody. This is going to be the last round if Alexandria managed to cap on their first point coming through this first pistol round on the switcheroo between both sides. And I got to say, they will need to watch out for the likes of Kaneo and Ilu coming into this.
Indeed. So the only one really keeping up to par is Next 10 and 12, and Alpha arguably maybe the 5 and 12, but looks like Alexandria, no fear in their hands. They're just going to go straight through towards the back of A. Jasun going to delete Next with the Sheriff in hand. The counter flash from Alpha does work, but Jasun's still going to find that quick pick. Dark spotting out the lurk. Might even catch up one here, but Spark holding on strong. Could be saving grace here for Narara. Trying to find one more. I bet says no. And Dark going to delete kick on the flank line. Flawless first match for Alexandria as they go 13-0 against Narara.
I think that's the second time we've actually seen the likes of a game where it just went completely one-sided, 13-0. A huge display of difference between both teams, but you got to give credit to Narara for actually, giving us a display of effort. They did have a couple good rounds, getting a couple picks here and there. Next, acting as, the most valuable player for their team was absolutely astonishing. Like, the only thing that really did not exactly work out strongest for them is that there was a few factors. Like, Canal managed to play a couple good rounds, got like a nice, I think it was, he almost got a full-on ace in a single round. He acted like he pretty much got the second most kills throughout the entire game. He managed to help with the flank a majority of the time, but just mid lane was always left open. They tried getting a peek, but by the time they managed to start peeking in mid lane and realize, hey, our side point is exposed, you've got Illo standing there with that operator, and then sometimes you'll see them try and flank through mid lane when they decide to change around, like we saw before in the last round when we saw I think it's YouTube and 8bet really popping with those Odins, just flanking down sides, shooting from catwalk all the way through, and just getting those clean shots where needed. And I gotta say, it was a little bit unfortunate when we saw the Bulldog aiming down sights not exactly get the headshot needed to reset things, but it was, I gotta say, it was just absolutely astonishing. As we're going to be moving over to the MVP of today's Game 1, brought to you by Meta HSE, proudly sponsored to you by Torrens University and Optus, and it's going to be Ilu from Alexandria High School.
Definitely from that one. Absolutely sweating hard. Went 19 and 2 overall and was just everywhere. As soon as you were watching an angle or unwatching it, he was just pretty much there, knives out in hand, do all the setups there, and it was definitely a great player to be trying to compete up against. Versing him from later there. So, well done indeed from that one. Sweating hard, managing to bring that one on top of the lobby overall up against Narara. And Narara going to have to try and battle it out again later on in these series, I would imagine. So, well done.
Yeah, and I believe that is going to be it, everybody, here for the first game tonight. It's brought to you by Meta HSE. We're going to go to a little intermission break, roughly around 20 minutes or so, while we prepare ourselves for the next game coming up, which is going to be another astonishing gameplay between two more high school teams coming out shortly. So don't go too far, everybody. My name is Reinhardt. I've been joined by Potato Fries. I will be rejoining back again here on the segment for game number 2 with your regular caster, Emperor ZK, bringing us on screen. But for now, everybody, we'll be back soon, coming at you live.